These are the top 5 social media trends of the year that you'll want to take advantage of, especially if you want to skyrocket your growth authority and your content. Let's dive into it. Now, the first social media trend and prediction is the AntiHermozi editing style. Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, last year, Alex and Layla Hermozi rose to popularity, and rightfully so. Their content is bomb.com. At the same time, their editing style has also rose to popularity. Do these look familiar? Yeah. A lot of people have copied their editing style, myself included. At the same time, with anything that becomes popular, it then becomes mainstream, and then after some time, mainstream becomes basic, and then the market becomes saturated with the same thing. Now, I run an exclusive mastermind with 6- and 7-figure creator entrepreneurs, and even in our private conversations, we're talking about how sick we are of seeing the same video editing style over and over again on our feeds. And even though modeling what works is a great strategy, we also want to encourage ourselves to be leaders and not necessarily followers, and paint that picture for our audience as well, that we are leading the pack and that we have our own individual brands. Because as of right now, when I go through TikTok or when I go through Instagram, especially short form videos, it's basically all looking the same, even though the creator might be different and the content might be different. And even though I feel that worked last year, I don't think that that's going to fly this year, especially as the audience starts noticing that everything's starting to look the same. And even within my business and my team, we're actively trying to find a new video editing style that doesn't necessarily copy the Hermozis and really imprints our brand DNA on our content, so that when someone is looking at our videos, it's very obvious that that is a Vanessa Lau piece of content. Back then, before short form content, before video content became popular, what was super popular were graphics. And a lot of us, if we had businesses, if we had personal brands, we would imprint our brand in these graphics with color, with text, with all of that stuff. But now, with the rise of video content, I think that the next phase of content creation and individualistic branding is to be able to imprint your personal brand within your video editing style. And this is something that the Hermozis have successfully done, to the point where so many creators are now copying them. At the same time, if you want to win big in this year and beyond, you're going to want to try to embed an individualistic editing style, where if someone's watching your video, or if someone's watching someone else's video and they're noticing they're using your editing style, they're going to be able to associate back to your brand. This is really going to be how you're going to be able to lead the pack, and also use this year as an opportunity to stand out while everyone else is still copying the Hermozis. Now, moving on to my second trend and prediction of the year, and that is the anti-niche. One of our mastermind members actually posted about this on her TikTok. Here's what she said.
You're seeing an influx of the anti-niche content creation style, and it's only going to get more dominant. 2020 and 2021, everyone preached you need to niche down if you want to be successful, that the only way to make it on social media is to have one thing and do it really well. And inevitably, what happened was everybody woke up and realized how limiting and, quite frankly, boring it is to be that niched. Now the prevailing strategy is to make content around what your audience finds interesting, and most importantly, make content that you find interesting. In 2023 and beyond, the way to be successful is to be the anti-niche, to make your brain your content.
Now, to add on to what Jenna said, here's what I think is contributing to the anti-niche trend, and that is TikTok. The first thing is the For You page algorithm. Back then on social media, you would have to follow a specific creator, and then you would just get fed all of their content on your feed. You would have to basically self-select what you want to see. But now, thanks to the For You page, where you are served content from creators you don't even follow, you are now being exposed to different topics and interests and creators that you didn't even think that you were interested in the first place, until you were exposed to it on the algorithm. Even for me, it wasn't until the TikTok algorithm where I realized I was actually interested in K-pop, in astrology, in sharks, in Amazon hacks, or insert weird topic that I had no idea I was interested in here. And so as you can see, TikTok has really made content creation and content consumption a true human experience. And no longer are people just following a creator for a specific niche, they're following their interests a lot more. And also, if they do follow a creator, they're becoming more interested in not just that creator's niche topic, but also the creator's values, the creator's perspective, the creator's lifestyle, and all the other holistic things that make the creator the creator. Even for me, I've noticed that on my Instagram story, even though my niche is social media and entrepreneurship, whenever I post content that is lifestyle focused, that is my day, I get 5 times more story views than any other niche specific content that I post. At the same time though, I don't want you to get it twisted. This is not the same thing as telling you to never pick a niche and not find topics to talk about. That is still an effective strategy and something you should absolutely do, especially if you are starting out as a creator. But what I am saying is that thanks to the TikTok algorithm, it's really humanized creators, and it's also changed the way that people are choosing which creators to follow. Because the truth of the matter is that information is now a commodity. Thanks to the internet, people can find information anywhere. Any creator can talk about social media hacks. Any creator can talk about gym hacks. Any creator can talk about fashion and fitness and all of these topics. The reason why someone is going to follow you and be a raving fan of yours is not necessarily because of the information that you provide. It could be the stories that you share about your life, your lessons, your interests, your values, your perspectives, the things that might be also outside of your niche. Now, I got fan mail and it really melted my heart. It was from someone who said that he was following all these creators, but at the same time, he loves to follow me the most, not just because of the content that I share about social media and entrepreneurship, but it's the authenticity and the vulnerability that I share outside of it as well. And so as the year goes on and beyond this year, I really do think that what is going to differentiate creators is not necessarily their information, but their individuality. And that kind of comes back to the first social media trend that I mentioned of the AntiHermozi style. And again, it's not to say anything bad about the Hormozis at all. If anything, they're probably hoping that less and less people copy them. But what I am saying is essentially people are craving individuality. And if you want to stand out, you have to be a leader, not necessarily a follower, and find ways to differentiate you, your brand, and your content beyond just the information you provide. Now, another reason why I think the anti-niche trend has become more popular and will be more popular this year is thanks to the rise of short-form video. Unlike long-form video like YouTube, let's say, it's really hard to actually create a vlog, especially if it's not really within your niche. For me, whenever I create these vlogs, it takes weeks to do them, and oftentimes there is no ROI. I don't get as many views as my niche-specific content. It costs a lot of money and time to make. But now, thanks to short-form videos where it's relatively easy to edit, it's easy to put out, and it's very low commitment, meaning that if it doesn't perform, it's not that big of a deal. It's really allowed an avenue for creators to showcase their interests and topics outside of their niche just for fun. And I think that moving into this year, more creators are going to have a lot more fun creating short-form content, whether it's creating lifestyle videos, vlog videos, things outside of their niche. Think about Instagram stories where you would showcase your day or random things that you're interested about, but this time the next level is actually putting it on short form videos where it will last over 24 hours. And I really think that moving into this year, we're going to see a lot more personalities, a lot more individuality, especially through short form video content. Now, on the topic of short form video, the next social media trend and prediction that you must take advantage of this year is video podcasting or fake podcasting. Now, I'm going to tell you what fake podcasting is in a second, but first, you have to listen to this mind-blowing fact that one of our mastermind members, Rich Cardona, shared. Rich Cardona is a podcast producer of some of the world's largest business titans, and here is what he said at our recent mastermind event.
Active users on these platforms. Over 1 billion on Insta, 397 on Twitter, 310 million there, and then 1 billion on TikTok. Active users. Just think about it. There's a lot of freaking people. There are 38 million YouTube channels. I believe that's actually in the 40s now. Okay? Active channels, meaning you're posting. On some of those, it's once a week. Some of them, it's once a month. Okay? Here we go. There's 300,000 podcasts right now. Listen closely. That are publishing 1 episode a month. That's what it's considered active. All right? Here we go. 3.9% of the 4 million podcasts that exist are 155,000. That's how many are posting once a week. Your competition, if you post once a week, is 155,000 podcasts. And you are in love with Instagram competing with 1 billion people. So now let me break this down further. That's 155,000 podcasts. But They're split up in categories: religion, sports, news, self-improvement, business, entrepreneurship. Like, you have a ridiculous opportunity.
So as you would have heard from our mastermind event, there are only 300,000 podcasts compared to 38 million YouTube channels, meaning that the potential of growth of podcasts is huge and there is very little competition, so that there is a high chance of you winning. But beyond that, thanks to the rise of short form video, this style of video is actually performing really well, where there are clips of podcasts where it showcases a very human interaction, unscripted, unfiltered. A lot of this style is doing really well on TikTok and on Instagram, and I really think that people are going to lean into this style even more. And not only is the fact that you can repurpose your video podcast onto short form and have these authentic types of clips, but it is also an amazing collaboration and networking opportunity to grow your brands because you are now collaborating with another creator. And most times in podcasts, even if you're the interviewer, you end up learning so much more about the person that then benefits your business, your brand, or your life. So it is a win-win all in all if you decide to dive into video podcasting. And if you are not convinced, listen to this clip of what Mr. B said about the power of video podcasts.
I just want to do more podcasts because a lot of people re-upload them on TikTok and stuff like that. So it's like, even if this hypothetically got, we'll just say 1 million views, it could get hundreds of millions of views on TikTok if we just say some cool shit. So I think podcasts now are like more OP than they've ever been.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. It's like
now is the best time to do podcasts than ever before. Like if you did a podcast 4 years ago, it's just the people who listen to it and that's it. And then after like a week, it's dead. Well, now it's like the clips are re-uploaded for months on months. It gets so many views outside of the actual podcast.
Now, let's say you are someone like me, you are super busy, maybe you have a lot of other social media platforms going on already. You might be thinking to yourself, well, Vanessa, I do not have time to coordinate a video podcast. Don't worry, because you can actually fake it. The thing is that this filming style has become really popular when it comes to short form videos. And what I learned is that most times people who do this style don't even have a podcast and their mic isn't even plugged in. All they have is a podcast mic not plugged in. They're looking to an angle and they're just talking as if they were talking to someone on a podcast. But the truth is that it is all fake. They just do it because they know that it performs. And so whether or not you feel like it's inauthentic or not, it is something that has been proven to work, especially when we look at the metrics of engagement and of the retention on these videos. And so it is something that you might want to consider trying, especially if you are someone who's not ready to have a full-blown podcast just yet. Now, switching gears, let's talk about the next social media trend that you're going to want to take advantage of this year, and that is artificial intelligence, especially ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence bot that collects information from the internet and can perform tasks, communicate with you, and provide you information based on what you ask. And it has been absolutely mind-blowing to use. In fact, within our 6- and 7-figure creator entrepreneur mastermind, we have many mastermind members leveraging this tool to increase their content output. For example, within our group, we've been using it to come up with YouTube topics and titles. One of our mastermind members, Laura, who is an Italian creator, used ChatGPT to translate her YouTube titles. Another one of our members, Mo, used the bot to come up with a full YouTube script. And by the way, here's an example of what it could look like. And then there's Sammy, another mastermind member, who was able to pump out 7 scripts thanks to the help of ChatGPT. And by the way, you don't have to be a 6- or 7-figure creator entrepreneur to do this. Even my boyfriend, who recently started his YouTube channel within the gaming niche, is also using ChatGPT. Check this out. All right, so we are entering my boyfriend's office and he's using ChatGPT right now. He's starting his YouTube journey. Here's his channel. But he just searched up, how do I get better in Warzone, which is the content that he creates. And so what do you think about what the bot spit out? Is it decent?
Yeah, it's actually pretty on point. So this is gonna be my next topic, and I just wanted to add some talking points, and all 8 numbers here is pretty good. So I'll probably use this as a baseline and then go over it in the video. So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
So as you can see, moving into this year, there's going to be way more creators using ChatGPT to really increase the efficiency of their content and give them a leg up. And even within business, there's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs using it as well. For example, I was hiring a video editor and I needed to come up with a job description. So I asked the chatbot to actually create the job description. And it was pretty good. I used parts of it, I modified it, and I was able to come up with a job description basically within 10 minutes. And so as you can see, this is definitely a tool that you don't want to sleep on this year if you want to increase your workflow and your productivity, whether it is in business or in your content. Now, switching gears, let's talk about the next social media trend and prediction of the year, and that is community and experiences. If you want to have a leg up, you're gonna wanna listen to this segment. There's no longer a huge differentiation point between paid content and free content. Content is accessible anywhere, and this is something that we have been actively discussing in my 6- and 7-figure creator entrepreneur mastermind, where we are noticing that information is literally everywhere. If you sell a course, people can find that information online for free, whether it's ChatGPT, YouTube, or Google, or anywhere else. And there's always creators undercutting each other when it comes to providing value, which is not a bad thing. Value is now becoming more and more accessible. So how are you going to differentiate yourself when it comes to not only being a creator, but also being a business owner? And beyond just your personality and your lifestyle and your values and all the things that I mentioned earlier on in this video, it's also going to be the community that your brand has and also the experiences that you provide. So this is exactly why I even created a mastermind where people can get access to experiences that they can't get online. For instance, our in-person events where our members get to meet other members and form a community, and also the calls with me that are exclusive, but beyond that, the access to the minds of other creator entrepreneurs. This is something that you're not able to find or access on YouTube, Google, or with another creator. And so even though it takes a lot more work, moving into this year and beyond, if you want to increase your authority and you want to stand out and you want to protect and future-proof your brand, you are going to want to embed community and experiences into your products and services as well as your brand. Like I said earlier on in this video, people want a human experience, and moving into this year and beyond, people are going to want more and more connection. And so if you are just spewing out content all the time, spewing out information, it's a commodity. And there's going to be a lot of creators who are going to undercut you, and there's going to be a lot of competition if you're only competing on information. And so what you have to do is still provide value and information and personality and lifestyle and all those things that I mentioned in the video, but you're also going to want to add a component where there is a sense of community within your audience and a sense of experience, whether it's hosting events or whether it's providing an experience and community that they can't get anywhere else with any other creator. And this is something that I actually mentioned in my last video where I recapped my year. And at the end of this video, I talked about how I want to shift from not just a one-to-many content model, but a many-to-many content model. And I also think that this is another trend that you have to be aware of this year and beyond. Now, what exactly is a one-to-many content model versus a many-to-many content model? Where a one-to-many content model is basically you broadcasting a piece of content to the world for everyone to enjoy, whether it's broadcasting an email, a YouTube video, an Instagram post, a story. But the problem is that if you stop broadcasting to the world, the content wheel stops at you. And that's a problem because it's not sustainable. Many of us creators burn out because we're constantly on this content hamster wheel of creation. Versus, I think the smarter creators this year and beyond are gonna wanna lean into a many-to-many content model where instead of the creator constantly creating content all the time, they're gonna wanna co-create it with their communities. And this is exactly the types of things that we are talking about right now with 6- and 7-figure creator entrepreneurs in my mastermind. So what I mean by this is imagine if you are a creator or an entrepreneur and you create a community where your audience members from your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, doesn't matter what platform is, gets to come together. Not only are you creating a community, but you're also creating an experience where people can discuss topics that they're passionate about, they can discuss your content, they can share their experiences within your umbrella. So this is different from someone talking in a comment section or within the DM. This is really creating an experience where people can engage with each other. And so for you, if you don't want to create content that week, it's fine because now your community is getting content within the community from other members who have similar interests because they all watch your videos and they all love your brand and you as a creator. You attract the people who are similar to you. And so naturally within the community, people are going to be able to find like-minded people to connect and network with, talk about your content, talk about their perspective, talk about their stories. And so content is now being co-created. And to take this a step further, not only will you be able to get content ideas sourced from your community, but you'll also be able to feature your community members as well. Someone who does this really well is Chris Do. If you actually check out his Instagram, a few times he'll actually post content from his audience. And the thing is that it's not him creating the content, it's him shouting out his community members. This also creates endowment, excitement, and a love for Christo's brand, especially within his community. And that is why he has so many raving fans. And so that's why I believe the smarter creators, if you want to get off the content hamster wheel, are going to want to lean into a many-to-many content model. And beyond this, like I was saying earlier, you're going to want to differentiate yourself by the experiences that you provide. Very similar to me opening up my mastermind, where I have in-person meetups that you can't replicate anywhere else and that no creator can copy because an experience is so unique and curated. And whether your community is free or paid, you are now creating permission and you're creating a space for people to actually form their own connections and meetups with or without you. So for instance, in my mastermind, even though there are formal events that we host, there's also opportunity for our members to meet with each other. For instance, we have members meeting each other in Thailand, members meeting each other in Vegas, and I'm not even there, but I get tagged in these posts because thanks to me, they were able to meet each other. And so that is ultimately how you're going to be able to build even more endowment, fans, and brand equity for your business and for your brand. And so the bottom line is that information and content are now becoming more and more of a commodity. And if you want to be able to future-proof your brand and your business this year and beyond, you're going to want to find ways to create individuality within your brand and also offer community and experiences that people cannot find anywhere else beyond just information. That being said, speaking of other opportunities this year, make sure you watch this video next. If you are someone who is interested in starting a YouTube channel or growing your YouTube channel, make sure you watch this video where I talk about one of the biggest opportunities that you must take advantage of this year if you want to win big on social media, especially if you want to be doing YouTube. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.